once you've stepped onto the top of that podium, there's actually no stepping down. As an athlete, you don't age as wine, you age as milk, you know? One day you're at the top of the world and the next day you can be nothing, you know? I just stopped caring about it. I was like, I'm just gonna try. I will not be afraid to lose. I will only be afraid to not improve. Everybody knows racing, you know, it starts very early on. It never gets old.
Hello and welcome to Go Wild, the podcast from PUMA. Now, it's the show where we really get a chance to catch up with our genuine wild ones, the movers and shakers in the world of sport and culture, and we'll find out a little bit more why they headline what they do. I'm Colin Jackson and I'm the host, and today I've got an incredible guest. It's really a huge pleasure. I'm always having this real pleasure of introducing amazing people in the world of sport. Karsten Warholm from Norway, world record holder for 400 meter hurdles, Olympic champion, world champion, European champion. Take a deep breath, and most probably known for ripping his shirt off. I think that's one of the biggest things. Karsten, welcome to Go Wild.
Thank you, Colin. It's nice to be here.
400 meter hurdles. I want to know how you got to that event, first of all. So talk me through it. A youngster, did you want to do biathlon, cross-country skiing? You know, what was it that drew you into our sport and specifically the event?
It's a little bit of a special story because in the world of track and field, I started with the decathlon. I was a multi-eventer, and before that, also growing up at home, I played a lot of football. So for me, it was always about doing everything. You know, I love all the different aspects of sport and competing. And that's where everything started for me. And when I moved to Oslo in 2015, started working with Coach Leif. This was right before the Rio Olympics in 2016.
Yep.
And I said to him that I want to be there. And he said, you know, given your capabilities, I think it's going to be the fastest way to do it in the 400 meter hurdles. That's where I think you can do the best. That's where I think you have the biggest potential. And I said, okay, let's do it then. And then we put like the decathlon a little bit on ice. I didn't give it up completely, but I was like, okay, let's try the 400 meter hurdles now so we can get to the Olympics. Then we started training that, and I was number 9 in Rio, I think, in a Norwegian record of 48-49. And the year later I won the world championship. So after that I never looked back. So for me it was like the road came to me as we walked down it. I would say it's like it didn't happen very planned. It was more like a random thing, and of course from Coach Leif's side it was probably more a big thought behind it. But for me, I never saw myself doing the 400 meter hurdles until I was there.
How difficult was the transition in training and the workouts? Because when you're a multi-eventer, of course, you know, you spend your time high jumping, you spend the time doing high hurdles, you spend the time sprinting. How difficult was it to make that transition straight across to training for an endurance, like a sprint endurance session with technicality?
I would say for me, back then I was a little bit crazy. I was just up for everything, you know. As long as I just showed up to practice, and whatever coach told me to do, I would do it. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, technical or if it's super lactic and super hard or super chill. I was just ready to do whatever that could make me successful, and I trusted the guy. But of course, doing the decathlon is different in the way that you're not going to be super good in anything. You're going to be quite good in 10 events, and you also have to find the events. Some events give more points than others, and you have to be very smart when you're choosing it. And for me, the throwing events were super bad. You know, it's a lot of the events I didn't learn how to pole vault, didn't learn how to discus, didn't learn how to throw a javelin until I was 16, 17 years old. So it was very late, and I didn't manage to learn it properly. And then it was also, it felt very right when I got into something like 400 meter hurdles, which from the start I really felt like I could nail it. You know, it's like everybody was talking about how difficult the 13 steps, you know, which everybody talks about in 400 meter hurdles. But to me, it just came natural with my stride. I did 110 hurdles. It was my best event in the decathlon, along with 400 meter flat. So it just came natural, honestly. And of course, when you do good in something as well, it's fun. It's fun.
You're talking about, people will be listening and saying how you're one of the most inspirational for athletes, right? They look up to you. Lots of people look up to
Really?
you. Yeah, I got a couple of my athletes look up to you, and I do tell them the truth, but you know.
And after that, it's a different
Yeah,
story.
they come back to me
Yeah.
now, right? They come back to me. But you know, you say that inspiration is one of the things that kind of push you in our sport of athletics, and so you've always got to be true to a situation, and lots of the times things don't always go well. So Eugene, for example, when you finished in that 7th place, I mean, what was then that driving factor for you? Because that's not Karsten.
No, for sure not. And to me, it's also a very special moment because if I can take it a little bit back, I remember winning the World Championship in London, which was a huge surprise to me and to everybody else because nobody expected it. I was quite young as well and new to the event. And then the year after, I PB'd with half a second, but Abdurrahman Samba, which is one of my competitors, he beat me every race. And I came from 2017, you know, everybody praised me. I was coming into 2018 season, feeling ready, knew that I could PB, but I got beaten. And then I saw how the world changed, you know, because everybody wanted you to win again. Once you've stepped onto the top of that podium, there's actually no stepping down, especially to the people around and maybe the media as well, you know, they build stories on this. And to me, that was a wake-up call in the sense that it's actually only me that really cares about me and my well-being in my sport. Of course, there's a lot of people supporting, and there still was in 2018. But to me, I grew up very fast that year, very quickly, and I got my shit together as well, winning again in 2019. But coming out of the 21 season, having had the world record in Tokyo and winning the Olympics, and then injuring myself in the first race of the 22 season, which of course had to be also the year where the World Champs is in July and not August or September, right? I had 6 weeks. I had a T-junction tear, which is like in the lower hamstring. And I was like, shit, I'm gonna try and do this. You know, I don't want to miss the World Champs. And in my heart, I truly believed that I could win, but I knew the risk was quite high. But for me, I just love doing this, and I actually stopped caring quite early about how people see me as an athlete, because I know that it's fresh goods. You know, it's like as an athlete, you don't age as wine, you age as milk. You know, one day you're the top of the world, and the next day you can be nothing, you know. And I just stopped caring about now. I'm just gonna try, and I knew that it was a big chance that it was not gonna be a success. But to me, a little bit still, even if it was tough, and I didn't recognize myself running there, it was a little bit of success either way, because I was there, I did it, and I lived up to our mantra, which has always been that I will not be afraid to lose. I will only be afraid to not improve. And of course, I didn't improve that year, but I went on to have one of my best seasons the year after. And not let these things drag you down, but it's a part of the journey. If I was going to have a long career, of course there would be an injury. Everybody has setbacks, and I think it's easy to get caught up with the world around you, and not, you know, prioritize yourself. And just, if you want to compete and want to go out there and fight for it, you just do it, and you don't care anymore. And that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to continue to do, because actually right now I'm pretty satisfied with that. I don't care that much anymore, and it's actually a really good place to be. And I hope more athletes can come to that place, because it's good.
It's a place of being content.
Yeah.
I always remind people in my world what content and happy means. Happiness is just for the moment.
Yeah.
When you're content, you got it all.
Yeah.
You're
It's
down.
it's just like if you go out and get drunk, you're super happy that night, and you wake up miserable the day after. Yeah.
Sure.
And then after a while you realize that this is not what true happiness is. You know, it's happiness or content, as you said, which is a good word, that's a way of living.
Yeah.
And happiness comes and goes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about happiness then, right? We've
Yeah.
gone a little bit of a mellow scenario there.
We just
Let's-
down the rabbit hole
let-
from the get-go here.
Let's
Yeah.
pull it up. Let's pull it up. Your world record. Okay, I didn't even know where to begin with this story, right? First of all, I wasn't there because it was during COVID time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of difficult for us to get in there, but I was there watching. I was there in spirit, early mornings for us, and just getting ready to see you perform, and you've gone through the rounds really well. And all I was just thinking to myself was like, you got to win the title. That's always important.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the time at this stage. You just need the title. Just be Olympic champion, and you can dine out on that forever, right?
Yeah.
And you went off, and I thought, oh, he's gone too quick. Oh, what?
Which I usually do.
You do anyway. But he's gone too quick here. You came off the bend, and I thought, if he holds it to one more hurdle, if he does 9 good, this could be special. You did 9 and 10. Okay. And you charged into the line.
Yeah.
The clock stopped at the time that's just behind me there, that 45.94. I couldn't speak for a moment. Seriously, it was a world record that I generally thought I'd never see. Sub 46 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles. I can't really reiterate to people how incredibly impressive that is and how long that potentially could stay for. I mean, that's me as a fan. That's me as a former hurdler. But you're the person who ran it. What's your thoughts? What's your takes on that particular race and the result?
It was one of those days where, you know, you wake up, you haven't slept a lot because you were so nervous. It's the Olympic final, you know you're in the shape of your life, you know that there's only going to be a few moments where you can try and win that gold medal, and the competition was hard, you know. It's the level in the 400-meter hurdles the last years have been amazing. So I knew it was not going to be a walkover. And for me as well, it was only about winning the title, which is probably why also I think the race was so good, because I think it was not only about winning the title for me. The other guys also wanted that title super badly. You know, they're around my age. That was their moment as well. We were just racing. That was a proper race. And to me, what you see the last 100 meters, because I went out super hard, or at least super fast, and that was just the devil within me, you know. It's like that little beast that I know that I have, but it doesn't. You can't order it to come out. It needs to show up when it's ready, and that was one of those days. So I'm really happy for that. But after a while, I was looking at the timer and I was like, this has to be wrong, you know. I was like, this has to be a mistake. But honestly, I didn't care because I won the race. I was like, it could be whatever. It could have been 49 for whatever I cared that day. But 45.94, like looking back at it, it's extremely special. And the worst thing is I don't even remember anything from that day because, you know, everything was just so overwhelming. Even though there were no people there and everything, like it was just that moment, you know. We worked for this moment. I don't think it's a world record that will stay forever. There's going to come someone to beat it. This generation is still pretty good. You know, I won't say that anyone can't beat it from this generation. It's actually possible, but also going down the road, records are made to be broken, I guess. But being the first to dip under 46, that's pretty nice, because 1 year or 2 years prior to this, dipping under 47 was like a miracle.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah. I always say, right, with obsession, which you said there, there's got to be a thin line. Because, you know, obsession, you've got to be passionate about something. That's your driving factor as well. You have it in your gut, it's in your core, the passion side of it. But I always worry that if obsession goes a little bit over the other side and it starts to affect lots of people around you, and then it's not always a good thing. No. What's your take on my thought of obsession?
Yeah, it's a really good take, and I'm probably balancing that line, and sometimes probably more than most people pushing it way too far.
Yeah.
I am.
But you recognize that now by saying that.
For
you kind of like go,
for sure.
Okay,
And I think I read something the other day which I actually think was really good. I think everybody has weaknesses, but if you know about your weaknesses, you can cope with them. You know, it's when you don't recognize your weaknesses that they will become your enemy. And for me, this is just who I am. You know, I can be quite intense about things that I'm motivated about. So usually with that type of personality, a lot of people, they switch interests, you know, but for me, it's always been track and field, something that I always kept my eyes on the ball, but also other things, you know. If I do something, I tend to go a little bit all in, you know, with my mind and everything. And then of course you can push it too far, but when it comes to like social relations and everything, people are just used to it. This has been me for all the years, and it's special also because I've kept all my relations from my childhood. So almost all my friends that I hang around with is from my childhood. My girlfriend is already from when I was in high school back home. You know, she is from the place where I grew up as well, and they know me. You know, they just like it's not people I found after success.
Yeah.
You know, these people saw the way to success, which I think also they appreciate, that it's not something that is given, it's something that you need to go out there and take. And especially my girlfriend, I can see it because I've created a monster, you know. Now she wants to do her own things, you know. She wants to chase her own success. And actually, you know, in this lifestyle, it's amazing, but we're both gonna struggle once, you know, this is going down, you know. We have to slow down at one point, and we're not there yet.
Well, you'll have to play a good supporting role, because obviously she had a good supportive role for you.
For sure. When I retire, I will be a stay-at-home man.
I like that. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. There was a big event that was a lot of talk about. That 100 meters between you and Mondo.
Please don't remind me.
Oh, mate, I got to remind you, because I was all over that, as you know.
Yeah.
As well. I was like,
I remember.
oh, who's going to... which team you on? I was like, how can I be on a team? I can't be on... Listen, Mr. Neutral has to be in the middle here. But my heart was with hurdlers. Of course, I have to go with hurdlers. In that sense. Did Mondo surprise you with his abilities? Or do you think you kind of were a bit too dismissive with it? And if you did a round 2, you could have absolutely smoked it.
I still think I could, but it's like, you know, it's not gonna look good if you say that after a race like this. You know, we had our chance. I was not my best, not even close. Didn't do good. Mondo did fairly good. Yeah. So you know, kudos to him. But yeah, I gave it away too easy. You know, I wasn't where I was supposed to be. So I lost that race. But still, it's like, I tried to turn the table a little bit, because we did an event that made a whole lot more fuss than I ever thought it would be. I ever thought it would be, and it was super fun to do.
Yeah.
Of course, I wish that the outcome would be different. Yeah. But I also think that the reason why stuff like this never happens is because someone chickens out. And Mondo didn't chicken out for sure, and I didn't do either, and that's why it happened, you know. And we walked a path that other people probably will follow for the years to come. But I didn't do well, that's for sure. But yeah, it's frustrating.
When you see that, then are you proud to say that, you know what, we can absolutely cross over from pure sport into entertainment athletics and do it well and get people talking about it?
For sure. And I think one of the key elements to take away from this is racing, you know, because everybody knows racing. You know, it starts very early on. You know, you race your friends when you're a child, and it's about being the fastest. And it feels like an Olympic final when you're 6 years old and you're racing your friends. Huh? And I think right now we're in a place where it's a little bit make it or break it. And I think track and field, we focus only on records. You know, everybody's chasing records all the time, which is super cool when you break them, but it happens 1%.
Frequently, isn't it?
1% of every attempt, right? So the racing, it never gets old. You know, racing is something that we all love to see. And I think that is what showed it. Nobody knew the outcome. Everybody was wondering who is going to win. There was a lot of discussion, blah, 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 going back and forth. People were betting, people were watching, they were tuning in to see this. And that's what I think people found amazing with it. And we should not forget that this is also the reason why most of us started in the beginning, you know. It's just about competing and racing. And this is the fun part of track and field that we should not lose. We shouldn't make, you know, a lot of stupid races just to make them. It needs to be racing.
Okay, we spoke a little bit about that issue, the competition to you, Mondo, which I loved. I say I very much part.
It was super fun. It was super fun.
It was fun.
And Mondo is a good friend, so I was happy we could do it together.
Yeah, and it worked. It genuinely worked. And
but I served him confidence on a platter, though. He would never do that again.
So there's never going to be a rematch.
I would do it. For sure I will do it.
Oh,
But he
here
won't.
we
He
go.
won't.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
ask
yeah.
him. Just ask him next time.
I'll ask it.
But he won't do it.
So what is the wild side you? Because somebody was telling me about you have these Lego nights. I mean, talk to me about these Lego nights.
It's not a wild thing, I can tell you that. No, it's
Wait. My nephew is 22.
Yeah.
I mean, his Lego collection is insane. And today, he's an engineer. So he
Cool,
still
yeah.
tells me about when he asks me stuff, he asks me to buy him Lego stuff.
yeah. I love that. Yeah.
So I have a sense of
I
it.
think in this digital world there's a renaissance of the Legos and all the analog stuff in our world. You know, the things where we can just sit down and, you know, read the physical manual, put the physical pieces together, and it's a little bit, you know, escape from reality. And I think in my world that is very necessary, because what comes with also the intense work is the intense, you know, thinking, and the focus always starts in the mind, right? So my brain is always working, and when I play with Legos, it's not like that, because it's fairly easy. You just read the manual and you put the pieces together, but you see something start with one piece, then it ends up as, you know, a car or a house or whatever it is you're building, and that is very recreational for me.
Do you break them down after you finished, or do you leave them as full models?
I leave them all around our house, which also gets me in trouble a lot of times.
I can imagine. As long as you're dusting them, there's no reason why. Yeah.
So it's a big discussion with interior, because there are Legos all around where we live, and I never tear them down now.
Okay, this could be
They
crucial.
collect a lot of dust.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Yeah. So with quickfire questions, they're supposed to be quickfire. They're not always that way.
Quickfire, so it depends on me.
Basically.
Mostly, yeah.
So you can go yes, no, no, or you can give me full-on explanations of why you give me your answer. And if I think your answer is maybe not so true, I'll press one. Right. So
Okay.
do remember, I do know you, right? So
I know. Okay, let's
okay.
try.
Are you ready for your first question of the quick
fire,
round?
fire.
Deep breath. Are you a night owl or a morning person?
Night for sure.
Okay.
So I don't know why we were here 9 o'clock this morning.
Well, I would have been here 9 o'clock last night if you wanted me to be here. I would have made it.
Next
for you.
time, next time.
Next time.
I
okay.
remember that.
Let me just note that down. Karsten, night person, wants to do interviews late at night.
Yes,
Right.
please.
Biggest style turn off.
Honestly, these pants are too baggy for me, man. But
Get
it's not
away.
a turn off, you know. I don't judge like that, but it's like I would.
They.
If you have a Ferrari, why keep it in the garage? You know, I want to show my calves. It's.
Okay, I haven't got calves. So
You
give,
used to have though. You used to have.
no, I didn't.
No? How can you be a sprinter and don't have?
No. Quads, and then it just went to a matchstick, right, from after the knee. So
Okay.
So you're also keen on
Humble guy.
the baggy look, right? And that's okay. We like that. Okay. How many days since you last ripped your shirt open?
Whistler Games, you know, I just pulled off my singlet when I ran into the world best in the 300-meter hurdles in the Whistler Diamond League. So it's probably a month ago.
A month ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. I'm giggling about that. World record you most enjoyed smashing. Was it that 300? Was it the 400? Because a 300 was something else. I mean,
It was crazy, huh? It was good. It was good. Yeah.
Understatement.
Yeah, I feel like that is actually one of my most underrated races.
Don't buy me. It's okay.
No, but I think actually the 300 hurdles that I did in Oslo 1 month from now was my second best race ever. Like after the 45.94. Like 32.6 in the 300 hurdles is for people that have tried. You know, you can try without hurdles and then you tell me.
Thank you. Exactly. I'm going to just do another question before I kind of go back on there. Linked to, did you set out a target to break a world record, or do you just want to see it was just, let me just race?
In the 300 hurdles, I did want to break it. And I knew that winning, for example, at Bislett, I knew that I had to break the 300 hurdles world record. But in the 400-meter hurdles, I don't do that anymore now, because I've tried chasing the world record in the 400-meter hurdles a couple of times before. You know, when Kevin Young had the record, I was pushing. And when you're pushing for this stuff, you tend up to use a lot of energy just by pushing too hard in the beginning, and it ruins the race. But in 300-meter hurdles, it's a little bit different because your energy doesn't wear off in the same way as the 400 hurdles. So, but usually now I don't push for the records.
And is the mindset to try and break a world record different to your mindset of winning the championships?
Both yes and no. I think motivational wise, it's very similar, but execution wise, it can be a bit different, because breaking a record, you would have to take a little bit of a chance. Of course, you have to do that as well when you're trying to win a championship, but then you try and think on what's the smartest way to do it. You know, if there's wind, you know, how the weather is, you try and take all these unknowns and try and make a plan.
Okay.
When you're breaking a world record, you just have to
it.
go out. Yeah.
You just go for it. Okay. I like. Right. Back to the quick fires. Okay. If you have to pick one forever, would you rather just hurdle or would you just rather sprint?
Just hurdle.
I'm glad you said that. Now, before I ask you this question, remember who you're speaking to. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Keep that in mind. Yes or no? Are you the hurdler's ultimate sex symbol?
You tell me, man.
I ask the questions, mate. I'm not there to make a decision. Yes or no? Don't worry. Do what you feel is right. Say what you mean.
In Norway, we're famous for one thing, and that's being humble.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So I can't answer yes to that.
Right.
But deep inside, I wish that other people would answer yes to that.
Okay.
You know where I'm going?
I know
you know
exactly.
where I'm going?
Yeah, I hear you.
Let's just leave it with that.
We can leave it with that. We can leave it like that. All right. All right. Just for everybody else, no, he's not. It's me. Right.
Just bring up an old picture of Colin flashing his abs.
Yeah. No, nowadays, no. You're good. I'm with you. I'm with you.
You just put that picture right there.
Yeah. Right there. It's right next to us. We're all good. Next world record you potentially could be eyeing up. Would you think of like a 200 or
200 hurdles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could beat that. Just put up an event.
We work on that one.
Yeah.
Best song to run to.
Oh, I like the old rock songs. So when we're running, it's like Highway to Hell and
I know that.
Cherry Pie. She's my cherry pie. You know, all these, it gives me energy.
Energy. Yeah. Okay. Worst song to run to. So basically, I'm thinking as you go out, you go, oh no, just forward that. I can't be dealing with that.
It's a good question. It's a good question. But all things slow. You can't run to the slowest tunes out there. I can name one right now, but
so anything too lovey-dovey then? Anything too loved up music?
I was going to say classical music, but actually classical music can slap quite good, so I won't say that. But like if the rhythm is too slow, it won't give you the energy you need for a work.
Like an Adele slow, that's too slow.
For example, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like Adele though, so it's hard to...
But it's the time and the place.
Exactly.
And the question
it's better for winding down. It's in the car after the workout,
Right on. All right. But slow music will go for. All right. And your final question.
We're not quite rapid here, I would say.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It can go one way or the other, right?
Both of us, we like to talk too much, We are not yes and no persons.
It's never going to work, right? Okay, here we go. Favorite piece of advice Coach Life has ever given you?
So this is going to sound super hypocrite when I say it right after what we just said, but well done is better than well said. He always said that, but I just said we talk too much, so it doesn't sound too well. But actually it's very, very good advice, because I think in our sport, the most honest sport in the world, it's going to show the time when you reach the finish line, and well done is better than well said. Always, even though that is well said.
Karsten Warholm, the man. Still on a mission. Love you for that. And thanks for spending time for us today. Brilliant.
Thank you.